Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So since we're all stuck inside and not able to really go anywhere, so I'm going to be doing a lot more videos here at home. And I put up a thing on Instagram to kind of get suggestions of what kind of videos you guys would like to see. And one of them that came up was best and worst travel experiences. So plenty of best travel experiences, not that much worse, thank God. But basically I'm going to start off with the worst and hopefully end on positive. And also, if there's any other videos you guys would like to see, make sure you leave them down below in the comments as well. So first off, for worst travel experience, number one was when my train got cancelled in Vancouver. If you have been following my videos, then you would know when I was in Vancouver, I had a train that got cancelled. I was supposed to go from Vancouver to Jasper. And it would have been absolutely amazing because it was going through the Rocky Mountains, which is kind of one of the bucket list things I wanted to do. But unfortunately there was protests on the line and the train company had to halt operations because of it. It's not anyone's fault, I don't blame the protesters, but it was a big bummer as well. I was really looking forward to it, and it would have been my first overnight train as well. And yeah, that was tough. So for first best travel experience was a couple of years ago, before I even started YouTube or anything like that, myself and a group from my local youth club done the Camino de Santiago. And if you don't know what that is, it is like a holy pilgrimage. It goes from the bottom of France all the way towards Spain, and basically you're walking the whole way. And we didn't do the full thing because it would have taken about 2, maybe 3 months, depending on what kind of pace you want to do. So we only done 1 week of it, and it was still 110 kilometers, and we were doing about 20 kilometers a day. But it was still amazing. We had such a great group going with us, and kind of on the last day when we got to the cathedral in Santiago and realized it was all over, it was just such an amazing feeling. You can do it as a holy pilgrimage, or you can do it just for the experience. I recommend it completely. So for back to worst experience then was another one in Canada, and basically I had a bit of a bike accident in Whistler, and thankfully it wasn't recorded. Basically it was a wet day, we were still going out cycling towards Green Lake. It was a paved pathway all the way, and I think I was going too fast. I turned a corner and I think I hit the brakes as well, so I ended up flying right over the handlebars, and it was not good. Like, my face was pumping blood, and I thought I lost my 2 front teeth. They were that sore. My knee was in bits. It took me overall about 3 weeks, maybe 4, to recover from it, especially on the knee, because I scraped it all the way on the bend, and anytime I bent my knee it was really sore. I was out of work for a few days, and then I couldn't really do anything or go anywhere. I just had to sit inside, and yeah, that was not a good time at all. So second best experience then is a tiger called Lazis, and basically a couple of years ago, it was before I had this channel, it's actually on my other channel. Basically I was volunteering in South Africa for 4 weeks, and this was kind of like my first solo trip, first time flying by myself, and it's a whole big thing. It kind of kicked off this whole travel bug that I have. Basically I was volunteering in a big cat sanctuary, so they had lions, they had tigers, they had 1 cheetah, 2 caracals, and it was just such an amazing place, and it was nothing like what you see on Tiger King either. There was no breeding, no interaction. They're purely taken in rescues. Each animal had about 1 acre of land, unless they're in veterinary enclosures or adaptation enclosures to get them used to the place. It was just nothing like what you see on Tiger King. And this one tiger, Lazis, he was only there about 2 weeks before I arrived. He came from what is known as the world's worst zoo, and the keepers were saying he was doing so well up until they had a thunderstorm, and they reckon it reminded him of the bombs in Gaza because his zoo got bombed and a lot of animals were killed. And he just went straight into hiding. He would not come out of his house. They put up camera traps at night time. They said he just about came out for a bit of food, but he wasn't eating much. He was not doing well at all. Part of our job as volunteers was more so for monitoring and making enrichments. We were making toys and just little things to get them interacting and kind of keep things interesting so they're not bored all day. As you would expect, Lazis would not come out of his house. They had a trainer that would come in and try and work with him, just to build up his confidence as well. It's more so that I can keep an eye on him to see how his health is doing. And then it was actually on my birthday, I was going around doing the usual. I was throwing toys over the fence for them to play with, and I threw a box over for Lazis, and he actually came out of his house, took the box, brought it back in, and was ripping it open. He was rolling around in it, and it just made me so happy, and I actually cried. Number 3 for worst travel experience, and this is actually the last one because thankfully I don't have any more than that, was my day in Edmonton. I'm really sorry, Edmonton, but it just wasn't my day that day, and I don't know, maybe it's just my mindset or it's just a combination of things, but reality of traveling, it's not always happy every single day. You can have bad days, and unfortunately this happened while I was in Edmonton, and I only had one day there, which didn't help, but it was just a combination of things. I didn't charge my phone died, I got lost, there was things and attractions I went to go and see and they weren't open even though Google said they were. It was just not a good day. So I'm gonna finish. So for the rest of the list, it's all best experiences. So I have 3 more to go. One of them was another volunteer trip, and this was in Greece, and this was about 2 years ago at this stage. And I didn't actually record this, but it was such a highlight of the whole trip. So we were going to a place called Nada Falls, and to get there we had 3 taxis full of people, and it basically looked like the Greek version of the Italian Job. We were going around the mountains and stuff in these 3 taxis, and then they dropped us off at a town. From that town, a little old guy with a really long beard in a pickup truck came, and we jumped in the back of his pickup truck and he paid €1 a head, and he brought us to the falls, and it was fantastic. It was so much fun. Then we went to the falls and then got the same guides in the pickup truck to bring us back, and basically on the way back we were sitting in the pickup truck, we started blaring out songs from Mamma Mia, and we were singing our hearts out to Dancing Queen. There's a family, I think they were Greek as well, there was a family in the truck as well, they were laughing at us, but it was so much fun. It was just an amazing day. Next best experience as well was also in Greece, and it was the first time I seen a little baby turtle go to sea. So with this turtle then we were doing our morning survey, and we were looking on the beach for tracks and, you know, signs of any new nests, things like that. And we did find this nest. It was dug up, we think it was by a dog or some kind of predator had dug up the nest, and there was so many little dead babies all over the place. It was really sad, but there was this one little turtle that was still kind of buried in the sand, and he was kind of shifting a little bit. So we gave him a little helping hand to dig himself out of the sand, and then he started making a break for it towards sea. And we kind of stood by him just to make sure there's no birds or anything trying to snatch him up until he got to the water. And it was so amazing to see a little baby turtle go straight out to sea, and then he disappeared, and hopefully he made it to the rest of his journey in the water. These little turtles have a very hard childhood, and it was just absolutely great to see. And last but not least on the list for best travel experience, number 1 by far is whale watching. And I don't exactly have a favourite animal, but if I was to have one, whales would be very high on the list. I love them. And the first time I went whale watching was in Iceland. I got a voucher for Christmas to go. We were only in Iceland pretty much for the one day because of time off work and flights and things like that. It's just the way things went. We got out on the boat. It was a pretty big one as well. And we got to see dolphins, we got to see minke whales, and we got a feeding frenzy at the end of it. So it was fantastic. And then I went again in Vancouver, and that time we got to see humpbacks, we got to see orcas, got to see stellar sea lions. And that one again was just, it was just amazing because we were on a little Zodiac, so we were a lot closer to the action, and the humpbacks were huge, and it was just absolutely amazing trip. So let me know down in the comments below, what is your best and worst travel experiences, and make sure as well you hit subscribe as well. I am hoping to do a lot more content out. Even though I'm at home and can't travel anywhere, I'm still going to try and produce as much content as possible. And if you have any video suggestions or anything in particular you want to see, let me know also down in the comments as well. You can also get in touch with me on social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. All the links are down below in the description, and I'll see you for the next video. Bye.